before. We already have a lot out, but it's in preparation. Everything looks worse before it gets better. We already took some things off of the water shelf, but this is the before. We're gonna work on cleaning and decluttering and moving the shelves, changing out works. So here we go. Here's the finished product. This is our orientation shelf, and basically an orientation shelf is there to be familiar objects to a child. So anyone who's especially new, this is where they tend to gravitate towards. So we have magnetiles, a shape sorter. This one is some wooden beads that you stack on here. And then we have puzzles, of course. So that's our orientation shelf. Okay, this is water. It used to be in a different section, but we moved it over here. This is simple water pouring from one pitcher to another. This is taking this pitcher of water and filling them up to these different lines. So they're practicing filling up to the line. Those are actually shot glasses, so sorry, but it's all good. They don't know. And then this is an eyedropper, so they'll transfer the water from one to the other with the eyedropper, which can be challenging, so it's a good challenge. And then this one is sponging, so they transfer the water with the sponge from one to the other. This is baby washing, which is always a favorite. And then this one we added, which I'm really excited about, and it's brushing teeth. And so what we can do is take a dry erase marker and kind of mark the teeth if we want, and then they practice with the toothbrush and the toothpaste to brush the teeth. And then of course we have towels right there for all of our water messes. And then over here is our water bucket where they can pour any excess water from like baby washing or teeth brushing or hand washing. And over here is our hand washing station. So they take this pitcher, take it to the sink, fill it up, and pour it in the bowl and wash their hands. Okay, this is our art. And I haven't changed too much with art. I was focusing on other areas of the classroom, but hopefully within the next month or so we'll change it up a little bit. But this is our paper, colored pencils, like punching. There's like a butterfly and I think like a heart and a dot. Stickers, which is really good for those fine motor skills, really working on the fingers, peeling the sticker back and putting it on the paper. Cutting strips, and painting. And practical life is just what it sounds like. Anything that is kind of like life skills, essentially. Practical life is also really essential in preparing fine motor skills, which is especially helpful to prepare the hand for writing. So the first thing we have on here is our nesting doll. So that's in here. This is our simple transfer work. They especially like the sound of that. And then we have dry pouring. So they're going to be taking the pitcher and then pouring in the needles here. And then that is also focusing on coordination as well. And then this is spooning. And we have this little, kind of reminds me of something that you would see at like the grocery store to scoop things. And then we have folding, and these I made a long time ago, but the goal is to fold on the line, and there's different patterns on here. So there's folding, which they all really enjoy doing. And then this is yarn cutting, and so they're gonna pull the yarn out of this little jar and then use these scissors to cut little strips of yarn. And then this one is definitely more advanced, but this one is cutting fabric, so they'll be able to practice cutting fabric. And then on this shelf for Practical Life, I'm grateful to my husband for making this for me, because they're normally like $30 on Etsy or any Montessori store. But this is just practicing taking off a wing nut off of here, and then they'll unscrew them and screw them back on. This is baby dressing, and then this is practicing more of that fine motor skill, putting a clothespin onto each petal of this flower. And then down here we have sunglasses cleaning, so they'll use the water in here to spray the sunglasses and use this to wipe them. This is a mortar bowl, and so we put croutons in the bag, and then they're going to put it in the mortar bowl, crush them, and then put the crumbs back into the bag, and they can take those home to feed the birds. And then this is practicing cutting, and what we'll do is we will have bananas out for them, and they can practice cutting a banana. Okay, and over here we have our language area, which is a favorite of mine. And then we also have our books here, our little reading corner, and some more books. So over here is a focus on writing on this top shelf. So this is a wooden board, and they can use this wooden tool to trace all the letters. These are some sandpaper letters, and what they'll do is take one of the letters and trace it with their finger first, and then they'll take this to the table. And I'm being very brave, but I put fish gravel in here and instead of sand, and then they trace the letter in there as well to practice. So some good sensory experience with writing, and starting with their finger first before using a tool. And then this is more advanced. This is a whiteboard with a dry erase marker, and that's good for them to practice scribbling, which is a good practice prior to writing. And then if a student is ready for it, we'll dot letters and words, and they can start tracing those, which is a great precursor to writing. Then we're working on phonemic awareness and letting them listen to sounds of a word. So these cards are nice because we isolate this one object. So this is a picture of a bus. And now we have to look at the other objects, and we have to take a bead and put them on the objects that also have a beginning sound that's the same as bus. So we have balloon, so we'll put a bead on that. We have books, so we'll put a bead on that. We have belt, we'll put a bead on that. And then we have moose, so that doesn't sound like bus. So we'll leave a bead off of that. And same with umbrella. We have umbrella, which does not sound like bus. So we are going to put those beads back. And so we have lots of those cards. We have 3 of them, but we have more that we can exchange out. Rhyming is also a great way to start listening to phonemic awareness and just listening to the sounds of words. So here they're just matching cards that match with the rhyme. So we have these. So we have nail and snail, tree and bee, dog and frog. So there's that. And then again, we have more of these cards that we can switch out as time goes by. And then this one is great for prepositions. So this has a picture of this hen in between and inside and on top of their hen house. And so I got this bird house, and I still need to make a little chicken, and then that way they can be matching the chicken like inside of the house or on top of the house or beside the house or under the house. And so we'll practice that. So that's the prepositions. This set of cards is association cards. So they're separating all these pictures out and seeing what pictures go with what. So a cow produces milk, so we're putting those together. When you're riding a bike, you have to wear a helmet, so we're putting those together. When you're playing in the sand, you use a pail and a shovel, and so on and so forth. So those are all of our association cards. And then we have matching pictures with objects. So these are all different gardening tools, which I thought would be good vocabulary. Shears, watering can, a hoe. Oh, that's a shovel, a hoe, and then a spade. And then they'll just match those objects there. And then these are 3-part cards. So they're taking this full card, so the picture with the word, then they have to get the picture, match it there, and then they'll look for the label and match it there. Just because they can't spell or read at this point, it's okay to introduce this label to them because they're just trying to see the similarities between the words. And if it's too difficult for them, then they don't even have to do that part, and we'll introduce it later. But there's that, and so if we need to, we can just do this one or just do this picture alone. And then we have the objects to go with it. So those are all different farm animals along with our 3-part cards. We use 3-part cards a lot, especially in the 3 to 6 classrooms, so I just wanted to introduce at least one version so it's familiar to them. This is a matching game. It could be a game, or they could just lay them out and match them, but they're different types of emotion. And I just wanted to include different vocabulary other than just happy and sad. We have joyful, angry, here's happy, but then we have disgusted and proud. And then we have some more that we can introduce as well, but I want to start introducing, different identifiers for emotions other than your basic ones, because sometimes people can be feeling frustrated and they're not just angry, and so that's more descriptive of what's actually happening. And then this one is fun. So they're taking ice cream and taco, and they have to sort the ingredients out. So this is ice cream would go with that, sprinkles, chocolate, the tomatoes would go with the taco, and the shell with the taco, and on. So they're separating those. And then, again, some phonemic awareness and also kind of introducing the alphabetic principle as we're taking these cards that are find the sound. And so once, I mean, this is pretty advanced for them, but once they're starting to make sense that letters represent sounds, then we can take a card like this and say, okay, what is this a picture of? A B. Okay, B. What letter makes the B sound? This, or this, and they take a gem and they put it on the correct one. So that is find the sound. Again, a little more advanced, but it's there for our friends who are ready for that. So that is language. And then we do have, around the corner, we have our whiteboard here. I moved it away from the lamp because our other lamp was getting drawn on all the time with our whiteboard there. So we made a safer decision and put it over here. Okay, over here we have culture and geography. So this one is Native American photos, and they're taking, these are actually really pretty pictures, and they're matching it to the photo. I'm trying to find the one that goes with this one. Yep, that's it. So they match that along with that. So they're really nice. And then similarly, we have this, which is Native American textiles, but they're using one little piece, one circle of it, and matching it with the texture in this basket. And then over here, we have different flags. So we have a flag of the United States and our border countries of Mexico and Canada. And then I also put in the Illinois and Chicago flag. So that's just a simple matching work. The extension to this is that we also have pictures of those locations on a map where like the United States is in red compared to all of North America, and they can match that once they're ready for that. These are matching cards of different ways to say hello. These are really beautiful puzzle pieces from Etsy that I got, and it's all the different continents, and so they have to match the continents and put them in their respective spots. And then this one, also a favorite of mine, is our cosmic address. So it goes from my energy, myself, our school, and I did Aurora just because that's the city that our school is in, even though we all live in different cities around. But Illinois, our state, the United States, our country, our continent, our Earth, our solar system, and our galaxy. So this is good just because I feel like sometimes we can't see beyond sometimes our own backyards or our schools, and so I want them to start understanding that we're kind of little in this big world and galaxy and solar system of ours. So, and these we Mod Podged onto wooden discs, so it's going to be nice and sturdy for them. So that is our culture and geography. Okay, and then we have science. And so we have, this is a fruit matching one. So we're taking the outside of the fruit and matching it with the inside of the fruit. So they're doing that. That also really helps with their vocabulary as well. This one's pretty neat. It is matching the animal to their skeleton. I thought those were fun. And then this one's always a favorite because we have a gecko in the classroom. We have the nomenclature and so parts of a gecko. So we have head, tail, body, and legs that they can match with those. We have our botany puzzles. This one is a magnet, and so they're isolating just the magnetic pieces versus the sand. Kind of therapeutic and kind of calming. And this one is the favorite that I made. It's the 5 different types of vertebrates, and so we have a mammal, a reptile, a fish, a bird, and an amphibian, and they're matching it with these little tablets that mimic the texture of those animals. So yeah, hopefully they like this one, because I do. Okay, over here we have Sensorial. And Sensorial is based on the 5 senses. And everything, I love Sensorial because it's all, Maria Montessori was brilliant, and she did everything so that she was isolating one variable. So with the pink tower, it starts at 10 cube centimeters and goes to 9, 8, 7, all the way down to 1. And same with the brown stairs. And then the knob cylinders, there's 4 different types, but this one goes from short and narrow down to tall and wide. And so once they've mastered these and they have that natural check, then we can graduate to putting a blindfold on them and seeing if they can do it blindfolded, which they enjoy. And then these are, what are they called? They're like different grades of sandpaper. And so they can either match them or they can put them in order from like smoothest to roughest. So you can kind of see here, even through video, that there's like a different grade of roughness to these sandpapers. And then we have fabric matching. So there's all different types of fabrics and they have to match them. And then this one is a little bit tougher because they're all white fabrics. So they're all different textures, but they're all the same color now. So it's a little trickier. And then we have the brown stairs, and then color box 2. And they take out the tablets and line one set up vertically, and then they take the rest, the second pair, and match them with the color. So it's Sensorial. This is our math area. So over here we have some shape puzzles. They really love these. And then this kind of a shape sorter as well. And then we have sandpaper numbers. This work, which is a hand, and they have to create the number on the card, moving the fingers up and down to make the numbers with their hand. This is number tracing, so they choose a number and then they put it down and then they practice tracing. This is a more complex shape sorter. This is a geo board, so they take the rubber bands and they can create triangles and squares and rectangles on there. And then we have some tangrams, and they can either make whatever they want, or they can use the cards as a guide to make different pictures. This is money sorting. We have all of the coins in the 3 to 6 room, but I figure we could focus on just quarters and pennies. They're the most distinctive of the money. And then we have button sorting. So they're sorting the buttons between 2 holes and 4 holes. And so really noticing the details and being able to count the different holes and notice that. Then this is our number line puzzle, which I love. That's always a staple in here. And then we have our numerical rods. And then we have our spindle box. So the numerical rods, that's where we're introducing what a number is.